Then I'm gonna. Okay, we are live, and I'll go live here. Oh, we look really nice. So that's good. All right. Dr. Amy, I want to take a moment to thank you for being on the show with me. I know we're a few minutes late. For those that were looking out for us, it was my fault. So be upset with me. But but we did a show. Actually, the show was actually aired a couple months ago, a few months back. And basically what we were talking about is the mind-body connection. And you talked about the method that you use, that you've been using, where people have been seeing better, great results, especially in the world of anxiety. And we didn't plan it this way, but going with what's been happening, I don't know about you, but I know my practice has been picking up because more people are experiencing a lot of anxiety with the uncertainty that's been going on in our world. So just wanted to get your thoughts about the method, and maybe if you can give an explanation about it a little bit for other people.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what I do with people is help them address the autonomic nervous system that's in our body. So that nervous system runs our organs, sets our blood pressure, it helps digestion, it helps with sleep, it helps us just basically exist.
Mm-hmm.
And the word autonomic means that it just runs kind of in the background, but that doesn't mean we can't influence it. And so the work that I do with people is to help them learn how to influence that nervous system so it gets back into kind of the way we're designed, especially when you think of like a little kid that runs freely. They're happy, they get excited, they calm down, they're just existing the way nature intended. So as we turn into adults though, a lot of times our nervous system starts to shift out of this kind of loving balance. And so the autonomic nervous system is composed of three other nervous systems. One is called your enteric nervous system, which is your gut and digestion. The other is your parasympathetic nervous system, which is rest, relaxation, repose, digest, sleep. And the other is sympathetic nervous system, which is fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. Fawn meaning people pleasing. Now, we have all three nervous systems in us because we're humans and we need all three. But we don't want to exist in this sympathetic fight, flight, freeze, fawn mode. I might just say fight and flight just to shorten it, just for purposes going forward. So we don't want to exist in fight or flight. We want to exist in parasympathetic relaxation. Why? Because the fight or flight mode is designed to be short acting, to power us through something or to help us with a danger that hopefully passes quickly. We're not supposed to exist in it for a prolonged period of time. Unfortunately, with our society now, we've been trained to exist in it for prolonged periods of time. I've been guilty of it many times throughout my life, and I work very hard to come out of it on a daily basis. Now, there will be times where life circumstances ramp me up quite a bit, but I still work on pulling myself out of it. And the reason why is when we go into that fight or flight mode, our body starts to change physically to keep us in that fight or flight mode, which then creates a position that can lead to easily having chronic pain or easily creating anxiety or easily creating panic. And I don't know about you, but I don't really want any of those. Most people don't want any of those.
Mm-hmm.
So what we have to do is work on our physical body changing its position to not stimulate that fight or flight mode. And we have to work on our breathing mechanics. So anatomically, how you breathe really affects this nervous system and what happens to your body. Now, this is not breath work that I'm talking about. It's not that at all. It's anatomically, we have to change how you're using various structures of your body to breathe. And so what we're doing is we're putting that all together, is we're changing your position of your rib cage so that your back muscles are not overworking and stimulating the fight or flight nervous system. That also helps your breathing change so that when you use your diaphragm, the diaphragm stimulates the vagus nerve to calm you down. So if you are breathing with your rib cage elevated in front and shoulders up or back arched, that's a fight or flight breathing pattern. So that will ramp you up more. And I say that, and I'm very specific about this because I've worked with many people who've had PTSD or trauma, and they've told me that breath work causes them to feel worse. And then I tell them, yes, it should. Because the way they hold their body means that their breathing mechanics are on a fight or flight breathing pattern. So the more you practice that, the more you're going to be in a fight or flight mode, and your trauma and PTSD is going to feel worse. So what we're trying to do is get your breathing mechanics to change so your body gets permission to relax, and so that your breathing allows your nervous system to actually calm down. So when we do all that and you start to feel the body relax, then the next stage is, okay, we have to stabilize you so you stay that way. And then we don't want to just stabilize you and lock you up, but let's have you move and be stable and be able to do all that too. So we're working on a wide variety of concepts and ideas about the body to get a person to get out of chronic pain, to get out of insomnia, to get out of anxiety, to get out of panic or trauma. And it all matters. How you hold yourself, how you breathe, how you're stimulating the nervous system physically, it all matters in all of those conditions that I just mentioned.
And I know you explained it on the podcast, but if you could help others, because you talked about the different nervous systems,
Yeah.
can you provide them with information about the different nervous systems to make sure they're understanding what you're meaning by getting out of one nervous system and going into another space so that you're out of fight or flight mode?
Sure, sure. So let's go with the enteric nervous system. I don't cover on that too much just because it's digestion. So as you're eating, your food's going through your body, and there's a nervous system that helps your food get processed to allow you to absorb nutrients so you can produce energy to be able to exist. Now, that nervous system that helps digestion, it doesn't work on its own. It's influenced by other nervous systems. So the parasympathetic nervous system, that is when your body is feeling calm. So if you imagine that maybe you're sitting next to a warm fire, there's candles, you're reading a book if you like reading, and you're just chilled. Like that would be you're in parasympathetic relaxation. Anytime you're able to rest or repose or actually sleep and it feel restful, your body's shifting into what we call parasympathetic nervous system state. You've activated the vagus nerve, and the vagus nerve is telling all of your body systems that are used to ramp you up. They're saying, no, just go on vacation, just relax, just let your body chill out. So when that happens, digestion is kind of intertwined in that, because the parasympathetic nervous system helps you digest, because your esophagus, where food is going down, the esophagus contracts and relaxes. And when it contracts, it's squishing food down. It's pushing the food down. So that contraction relaxation is dependent on your ability to be in parasympathetic relaxation. So sometimes people have swallowing issues, and I've worked with them, where they feel like they'll swallow food, but it doesn't go down all the way. That's
Right.
because it's not pushing down because you're too ramped up.
Mhm.
So we have to get the body so it's calm in that parasympathetic state so that you can get food to actually go down into your gut so the enteric nervous system can take over to help digestion and absorption of nutrients. The other part of parasympathetic state is being able to sleep. I've worked with a lot of people who have trouble falling asleep, or they wake up in the middle of the night with nightmares, or they get up to go to the bathroom and then they can't fall back to sleep, or they just can't sleep in general, or it's a short period of time. So, all of those are indications that the body is not in this parasympathetic relaxation. We want our body to feel sleepy as the day progresses. That means your hormones are working correctly and you're getting the correct amount of sleep pressure as the day goes on. That's all a good thing. And that means you can achieve the goals of sleep.
Mhm.
Ideally, with sleep, we want to get to sleep at least by 10 o'clock or no later than 10:30 actually being asleep.
Mhm.
We want one sleep cycle to happen before midnight because sleep cycles before midnight have a longer duration of deep sleep, which is when our nervous system switches from one state to the next and going from ramped up to calm down.
Mhm.
So if you're not getting to sleep until after midnight or after or 1 o'clock in the morning, you're limiting your ability to calm down your body. So there are a lot of different ways that we can work on calming down the body and getting it into this parasympathetic state where we're able to relax. And for all those high achievers, you do want to be in a parasympathetic state. You really do. It doesn't mean you're being lazy. It means you're allowing your body to recover and regenerate so that you can perform at a high level when needed. So the last state is the sympathetic nervous system. And so the sympathetic fight mode is you're angry. You ready to fight, you're ready to hit someone, you're ready to kick some tushy. That's ramped up. Now, there can be a good ramped up or it can be a bad ramped up. It can be good if you are doing a sport that requires fighting. So you want to do it for a short period of time and then stop. It's good if you need to fight someone off and then stop. So fight, we can all get relate to. Flight is just running, fleeing for your life. You're running, walking across the street, a car's not stopping, you need to run. So that's an excellent way that your nervous system needs to be in a fight or flight mode to move you quickly across the street. The freeze is a lot of times we freeze and sometimes it's we're scared or sometimes there's so much going on in our lives and we're so emotional that we just can't move past the current state.
Mhm.
Sometimes if you go through a divorce and you're just shocked and you're just like, I can't think, I can't function, I can't do anything. That's a state of freeze. And then fawning is people pleasing. All you perfectionists out there, as awesome as it feels, then you just really want to be a perfectionist, that's a sympathetic state. You're people pleasing others, you're trying to people please yourself. You are taking things to another level where your body is not given permission to just exist. Our bodies are unable to reproduce things exactly the same every time. Part of it is we're not symmetrical on the inside. I have 2 arms, I have 2 legs, but they don't attach all the same on the inside. My right hip flexors attach higher on my spine because I'm human. So does
Mhm.
yours. So does anyone that's listening. So we're not symmetrical on the inside, and our body is not able to do something exactly the same every time. And we want to have that variability in our movement and in our existence. So trying to create this perfectionist state is, yes, if you're a little kid, you think you need to do that, but it's not realistic and it's not healthy. So fawning is something we try to encourage people. Nope, let's learn to set boundaries. Let's say it's okay. It's okay if I make a mistake because a mistake isn't really a mistake. It's just another learning experience. So
Thank you for sharing that. It's just a lot of people don't know about the 3. nervous systems. And
Yeah.
so um, that was great. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I think the connection between how our nervous system, our bodies, even on a cellular level, can affect how we process information, even to the degree to where it can change um, how neural pathways process information in our brain, and that you found a method where you can help people get realigned is so powerful, you know? So I want to take the time to thank you for coming to the after show.
Yeah.
I did put in the show notes your website, but I was wondering, because it's been a couple of months, do you have
Mhm.
anything coming up that you want to share with the people?
Um, right now, I'm just working with people on online one-on-one.
Okay.
I don't have any other big events. I'm going to events, and but those are just things that I'm going to and meeting people, and sometimes I speak, sometimes I don't. But the main way I'm helping people right now is online. Just
Okay. So they can make an appointment um,
Mhm.
online. I don't know if you have the ability to, but I can put it in the website, in the notes, your website,
Okay.
um, so that people can do that. And you are seeing people online. I was going to ask you that question.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Yep, I work with people all over the world, in other US, other countries, literally all over the world, Australia, New Zealand, England, Canada, Chile, all over the place. So
Okay. Very good.
yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
So you guys check out her website. Can you give me the website one more time so I don't
Sure.
look for
It's
it? I'll just put it in
PABRinstitute.com.
PABR Institute.
Yeah.
I hope it works. There. Is that right? PABRinstitute.com.
PABR. Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Institute.com. It looks like she is taking new clients, and she's seeing anyone all over the world. So um, I encourage you, if you're experiencing, panic attacks, if you're experiencing um, problems with sleeping, insomnia, all of those things around that space, especially, well, it can be different spaces, but what probably to give her a call. There's also the most recent episode of Elisha Space. Amy and I talk a little bit more in depth about all of these things. So I know that your time is precious, Amy, and then you have to get ready to go. So um, thank you for joining us today for the after show for Elisha Space. And I'm going to end the show and stay tuned, everyone. You'll probably see her for some other things too that we'll be doing. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.